What time is it? What time is it?
Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter Podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. And we have a great show for you today. And if you want to call in and ask questions, you can call in right now at 323-870-3857. And we'll be here till about 8 o'clock tonight, 8:30. It depends. If the show goes, it goes. If not, hey, we'll be out of here early. I don't know. A lot of this depends on you. Right, babe?
Yeah, we need some callers tonight.
Yeah. But, I tell you what, there's not a whole lot going on. But we do have some good news stories for you tonight. We also got our fantasy matchups. Joe Louis versus Wladimir Klitschko and Riddick Bowe versus Ken Norton. But first, want to get started with the news and rumors. Big news. Babe. Some big news this week. Dan Rafael fired from ESPN. He's been with this company, man, since 2005. I believe he was with USA Today before that. A lot of people had a lot of issues with Dan Rafael. I've never disliked him. I know he's got under a lot of people's skin over the years.
Did you ever meet him?
You know what? I never have.
Well,
And that's not for lack of, it's not, I just never went out of my way. I've never been in a fight he's been at, put it that way.
I've been at several fights he's at, and he's not a likable person.
Really?
He's just not a likable person.
So you've met him and everything?
I never wanted to meet him because I seen how he treats other people. So I don't even approach. I never.
You mean like reporters or like fans or what?
Reporters, everybody.
Wow, I had not heard that.
I've seen people walk up. I've seen people walk up to him and say hi to him.
Okay.
And he just turned around and walked away from him. Didn't even acknowledge him.
What? Really?
My friend, my co-host when I used to be on Rope-a-Dope Radio, Chris Carlson.
Yeah.
Asked him if he could interview him, just ask him a couple questions on camera. He said,
right.
I'd rather not. In a very smug tone.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's an asshole.
Wow.
Blocks everybody. He thinks he's just very arrogant. He's just very cocky. He's just and the things he says, like when Shannon Briggs got knocked out by Vitaly Klitschko, him and Dan were going back and forth. They had a beef or whatever. And he goes, Dan Rafael and Shannon Briggs. So
okay.
He goes like this to Shannon Briggs on Twitter, because he would never say it to his face, because he's
sure.
He goes, I wish the Vitaly fight was 15 rounds instead of 12, because he was getting beat up for the 12 rounds.
Right.
So he said, I wish the fight with you and Vitaly was 15 rounds instead of 12. Meaning I wish he beat on you for 3 more rounds, in other words.
Wow.
Then he called Andre Board. He's just an asshole.
I think listen, I don't know Dan Rafael's history. Okay. I mean, has he ever boxed before, or this was just like his beat? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's boxed oranges and grapes and boxed
stop it.
Boxed up his clothes and stuff when he moves and shit.
Stop it, babe. Come on.
It's about as all.
He's got a family, babe.
And again, I'm not going to celebrate the fact that he lost his job. He's got a wife. He's got a kid. He's got a family. I understand that.
Yeah. I
don't wish any bad on him, but I have a hard time feeling sorry for him that he lost his job too, because he was just an asshole.
Wow. And ESPN chose not to renew that contract. And so essentially, yeah, you're fired at that point. So what is Steve Kim? I guess Steve Kim's going to be the main guy over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
John Doe. Did you see John? He posted all on. Yeah.
I never liked him. And then I used to see him at events, and he'd always run up and kiss. And I saw him at the Victor Ortiz Andre Berto fight, the first one. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting there kissing friggin' Richard Schaefer's ass, following him around everywhere, He was up his ass. Like if Richard Schaefer stopped short, Dan's head would be up his ass. That's how close. Like he's just following him around the whole time.
Right.
He's just a freaking dick.
Wow. I mean, and I tell you, I had heard this about him. I'd heard, and of course, I never met the guy, so I don't know. I mean, he put out a lot of news. I trusted the news he put out with ESPN.
Wasn't bad at his job.
No.
He was a decent writer, but again, he used to editorialize a little bit too. And that really wasn't his job to editorialize. He was supposed to just report.
I hear you, but at the same time, there's only so much you can write. You know what I'm saying?
But to be fair, yeah, maybe I'm being a little strong there, but he would over editorialize, in other words. And then he would be on Twitter, getting in fights with fighters, going back and forth. I just didn't think he carried him. Like, you could see the difference in Steve Kim, the way he behaves now than before he had before he had that ESPN at the end of his name.
Yeah.
Dan Rafael acted like an idiot. Like, he was very irresponsible. Like can you picture like Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless like tweeting out and fighting with athletes like Dan Rafael does?
Well, Stephen A. Smith does. I think Stephen A. Smith does.
I don't know. I think Stephen A. Smith's a lot more professional than Dan Rafael.
And I think Steve Kim is very professional. Even before he had the ESPN job, I thought Steve Kim was professional. You know what I mean? I never saw him getting into like crazy, stupid things. I saw people come at him. But I never saw him like really just trash somebody.
My big thing with Dan is he would get in beefs and arguments with promoters, getting beefs and arguments with fighters on Twitter, and everyone could see it.
Yeah.
And you just don't do that.
Yeah, it's a tough. He's got it, for a long time, he's like the gold standard. For a long time, he really was like the gold standard in the sense that, like, if you wanted to know the truth or you wanted to know what was going on, that's the guy. You know what I mean? That's the guy you go to.
Yeah, I just never liked him.
I always liked his content. And again, man, I never had every interview I saw with him. I didn't like mind it. It wasn't like I got a feeling from him like, wow, that guy's such a jerk, but a lot of people, complain that he was blocked. A lot of people complain about him on social media and stuff like that. But personally, like I said, man, I never saw that. And
he blocked everybody, bro.
Yeah.
If you could log into friggin' Dan Rafael's account, man, he probably have 3 columns of the people he blocked.
Oh man, yeah, that's the thing. And now, as far as Scant Rants asked, why didn't ESPN renew the contract? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that we'll ever get a full story on that. Could be they just wanted to move into a different direction. Could be they just wanted to go to a different direction. Go with a guy like Steve Kim versus Rafael. I don't know. What's next? I would think that Rafael could probably go to the Zone or someone like that and make just a crazy truckload of money. You know what I mean? When this is all said and done,
I'll bet dollars to donuts he's going to go to ESPN.
Are you the Zone then?
The Zone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I would brain fart.
Yeah. I would think the Zone, man, because it's the right move. It makes sense. And he's good at what he does.
Yeah, he's going to the Zone.
But is he going to be like a TV personality? Because he was never really a TV personality guy.
They put him on camera once in a while, but
once in a while. Not much, though.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Do you think, let me ask you a question, like, do you think that Steve Kim will get more airtime?
Yeah.
And that's what they're looking to do?
Steve Kim did commentary, too.
Yeah.
Not for ESPN, but for other outlets.
Yeah. So
I like Steve Kim. I don't have a problem with him. I don't agree. Just because I don't agree with everything he says doesn't mean I don't like his work and respect his opinion,
Right. That's the thing. I do like I said, man, I do like Steve Kim a lot. I don't know. I have a hard time. I mean, because he was with them for 15 years. So I have a hard time. Dale in the chat says, could it be because he's not very photogenic or whatever?
No.
I don't buy that. You can't keep a guy, and he was on TV before. And I mean, so I don't think his appearance has anything to do with that. I really don't. And maybe I'm naive, but hey, I mean, look, I mean, they wouldn't put me on TV, obviously.
Bet you they probably asked him to take a pay cut, and he didn't want to take a pay cut.
I bet that was it. I bet that might have been it.
Yeah.
Because I heard ESPN let a lot of people go too. That's what I heard too, that they let up a lot of people go over this whole thing. Wow. Alexander Wilson, thank you so much. He said, Rafael is already writing for boxingscene.com. Devin Haney's comments are asinine. He needs to somebody to guide his career because this ain't it. Yeah. We'll talk about Devin Haney here next. So yeah, man. But I'll be honest, man. I hated to see that with Dan Rafael. I really did. You hate to see anybody lose their job. You hate to see anybody lose their job in this time too, but I don't know, man.
That's a step. That's a step down though.
What's that? Boxing scene?
Yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, from ESPN, but he's getting paid, and I imagine he's not getting paid as much. But I mean, you got a job, you got income coming in now. So what do you care?
But here's the thing about boxing scene. They're a little bit more. They're more active than ESPN. They put up more content than ESPN because
a lot more.
So he may make just as much over at boxing scene, if not a little more, because doesn't CBS own boxing scene now?
I believe so. I thought they did.
Yeah. So they may take care of him because they'll probably expect more content out of him, and he'll be able to write more content because. I think that may be a better fit for him over there because it's strictly boxing. I think he'll probably even be happier over there.
Yeah, I think so. And then like I said, I think he's going to get big money at DAZN. I think that's the logical place for him. So hey, why not?
Yeah,
makes sense. And he'll be at the fights, and I think they'll put him. Like I said, I think they'll probably give him. Listen, man, if I'm DAZN, especially now. That's the guy you target because this is a guy I can put on TV in the sense that I can give him his own podcast. We can give him his own show on DAZN and he can keep it running. PBC's doing a pretty good job now, even though I'm not interested in it, but they're having fighters, how you get, like fighters are on their side shows and stuff like that. They can do the same thing with Dan Rafael over at DAZN. And I think that he would be a really good one to get over there. He knows most of it. He knows just about everybody there is to know. So putting him on that platform, and I think that, I'll be honest, man, I think putting him on that platform at DAZN, he would do a better job than he did at ESPN in the sense that he would be bigger on DAZN than he was at ESPN. Because if they were to put him on camera and give him these shows and give him his time slots and everything, I think they tried to do that, didn't he? He had a podcast for a while. And for whatever reason, I guess it didn't take off, or maybe I don't know if it took off or not, but I know it's no longer around. But with a feeder like DAZN, he could be more popular now than he was at ESPN for sure.
I agree.
For sure. So I think he definitely lands on his feet. With Akin Barak. No, not with Akin Barak. No.
Akin Barak, baby.
Akin Barak. No, come on.
What up? Corey, what's going on, baby?
Corey Lee.
I haven't seen him
Corey Lee called the Dan Rafael firing like a day after he was fired. So there you go.
I haven't seen him in a good New York minute.
New York minute.
Hope he calls in.
Do you? Yeah. All right. All right. So Jason's on the line. Before I get to Angry Jason, we are going to talk about, oh, wow, Alexander Wilson. Thank you so much. He said, I read in the Sports Business Journal that ESPN ratings are down 70% year over year. Live sports networks are hurting. CBS hurting from March Madness. Listen, March Madness is a $1 billion industry. Billion. Let that sink in. Billion. For them to throw that away over this thing, listen, there has to be something to it. Everybody's losing money. But the good thing is that it sounds like things are coming back. I know in South Korea, they're already doing baseball. There's no audiences there, but they're at least playing the game. You know what I mean? So at least we got something there. At least we got something there. Manny Gatillo says he's blocking Jason tonight.
Don't do it.
No, come on, don't do that. Come on, don't do that. Don't do that. Not unless he gets crazy.
He'll cry, man. Don't do it. He'll be in tears.
I'll let him block it. I don't care. What do I care?
Come on, the coronavirus. He's already suffering from the coronavirus, man. This is all he has to look forward to. Don't take this away from him.
Yeah, right. All right, our train wreck of the week this week, B, belongs to your boy, Devin Haney. Devin Haney says he won't let a white boy beat him. Devin Haney was on 78 Sports this week and stated the following when asking about a potential Lomachenko fight. I can tell you this, quote, I can tell you this, I will never lose to a white boy in my life. I don't care what nobody got to say. His words, not mine. Listen, can't no white boy beat me. I don't care. On any day of the week, I fight a white boy like 10 times. I'm going to beat him 10 times. Listen, first of all, shout out to 78 Sports, friend of the show. We love 78. He's our guy. And hey, good for him for getting Devin Haney on his show, right? How about that? And he's got some new, now he's in national news, Beeb. Beeb, my man is in national news, 78. He's the one that started the LBDC, right?
LDBC.
Whatever. All right. He started it. He's the guy.
LDBC, Lion Den Boxing Community.
That's right. That's right. He's our guy. He's our guy. He was a friend of the show. So there you go.
Came on, listen. So you got to give him credit. He came on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You don't agree with everything we say, but he came on.
Hey, a lot of people don't agree with everything we say.
Not many people do.
That's right. So listen, man. So the comments, a lot of people said they were racist. Listen, I don't think Devin Haney is a racist.
I don't think he's a racist either.
But let's be honest. If Lomachenko said this or any other white boxer said this, can you imagine the backlash? Could you imagine? All right. Could you imagine like Tommy Morrison back in the day if he said, I won't let a black boy beat me? Or if Lomachenko said, I won't let a black boy beat me. Or if Tyson Fury said, I won't let a black boy beat me. You crazy? Are you crazy? This is this is like the height of double standard, man. Come on, son. This is a big double standard here, right? I mean, well, if anybody else said that, that's not cool.
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of people coming out right now saying, oh, what's up with all the false outrage and blah, 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 blah. There really isn't no false outrage coming from anybody, really. It's just people are just coming out and saying it's kind of an ignorant, stupid thing to say because you're basically insinuating that all white boxers can't fight. Meanwhile, the man in the sport right now who's on top of the mountain is a white guy, Tyson Fury. He's the heavyweight champ of the world. Lomachenko's been number 1, number 2 pound for pound for the last 8 years? So, I mean, it's just kind of ignorant and stupid to say that. And I'm not part of the cancel culture. I'm not going to sit there and jump on him and say he's a bad person and he's a racist. I'm not going to say that.
Right.
But my thing is I'm the enemy of hypocrisy. That's who I am. I'm the enemy of hypocrisy. I don't like hypocrisy. So all you people out there, all you boxing fans, all of the Devin Haney apologists, when Steve Kim tweets out something, Mike Montero tweets out something that you don't like, I don't want to go down in the comment section on Twitter and hear about, oh, that's racist, that's racist, that's racist, that's racist, that's racist. Nope. And meanwhile, Steve Kim's the minority himself, but he's being called a racist.
Right.
So that's the thing. I mean, and here's the thing. We live in what I like to call a revenge culture. Okay? A revenge culture. Is there racism in this country? Yeah. Okay. Is it as bad as it once was before? No. But does that mean it doesn't exist? No. But I think we have more of a class issue than a race issue, more so now in this country, because we have the middle class and the lower class are really getting treated like shit in this country. Okay? So that's the biggest problem, because it seems to me like the one percenters and the upper class people are the ones that are calling the shots right now, and the middle class and the lower class are the ones that are suffering. But we live in what I like to call a revenge culture. So I'm going to get back to that. So it's just like back in the day, when women were treated really bad and they couldn't do a lot of things. They couldn't vote. They weren't allowed to, work and stuff. They were really just treated badly. Okay. And obviously we know slavery and what went on there. So now what we have now is we're coming around full circle. Okay. So now we have the Me Too movement. And now we have, people who, no matter what, it's always going to be a race issue, even when race isn't even involved in the situation. So now it's almost like it's revenge now. So the women want revenge on men for what went on 100 years ago, that most men living today had nothing to do with that. Okay. So that's why, you have the double standard with the Me Too movement. And that's why, we have race in everything now. Like the country is so polarizing. And every time, an election comes around, there's race is a big topic. Race is a big topic in boxing. Okay. And it's almost like, you want to go back and erase what happened 100 years ago, or not even erase it, but now you want to kind of get back at those people who are dead, because all the slave owners are dead. All those people are gone. Okay. We live in a different world now. So you expect like everyone to have, like, a lot of the white people, like, they're expected to have white guilt now. So now, white people are afraid to say anything now because they don't want to be called a racist. But on the other side of the coin, it's not the same. It's a different standard, because the other side can say anything they want, because I don't even like to say the other side, but that's the way it's being framed. Mm-hmm. You have two sides now. It's the way it's being framed. Right?
Can you imagine if somebody said this, they would lose sponsors immediately. Immediately.
So that's the thing. We have revenge culture now. So now someone's got to pay for what happened 100 years ago. And it's never going to end to some people. So that's just the way I look at it. And I challenge anybody, because everyone's pulling up examples about, oh, well, what about when so-and-so said this? What about so-and-so said that? Find me one quote, one piece of video footage when Kelly Pavlik, Lomachenko, Tyson Fury, okay, Joe Calzaghe, Greg Haugen, Ricky Hatton, I'll go down the list. When did they ever say that I will never let a black fighter beat me? Name one white fighter that ever said that. It's never happened. It's never happened. Why is that? Because they know they would get crucified. Okay? They know they would get crucified. So it's the whole false outrage thing. Okay, whatever. I'm just the enemy of hypocrisy. And and all the channels on here that love to name drop and love to say this person's racist, that person's racist, remember that. And remember how you reacted to this thing, because it's a double standard. So when Steve Kim tweets something out, when Mike Montero tweets something out, or when someone else tweets something out you don't like, don't leave a comment and call them racist then.
You can't have it both ways.
You can't have it both ways.
Have it both ways.
Can't have it both ways.
Speaking of someone who does have it both ways, let's go to area code 706. 706, you're live.
You fucking pussy. You guys are so sensitive, man.
You're a moron, son.
Like,
not sensitive.
I don't even like I think
not sensitive.
Come on. Devin Haney. Let me put a disclaimer. I'm not a Devin Haney fan. I think he's like a shitty fighter. Like, he's like the biggest hype job. I don't even think we should be giving him this much attention.
He's a hype job.
Second of all,
come on, son.
I think, I think he's a total fucking hype job. He's horrible. He's not even a good fighter.
He's horrible.
He'll get exposed pretty soon, and then you guys will be like,
have you seen him fight?
He's a horrible fighter.
Have you seen him fight?
Yeah, I've seen him fight. I think he's trash. I think he's trash.
Okay.
Just listen to me, okay? Just stop.
Yeah, because you're dropping knowledge, son. Dropping all kinds of knowledge.
I am. Just listen to me. Yeah, you fucking Chris Eubank Jr. fan. Calm down. But listen, dude. Remember when Kovalev was comparing fucking Stevenson to a fucking monkey and shit?
Horrible.
I don't remember all this outrage where.
Oh, I do. I do.
I know. Listen. Let me finish.
He got destroyed.
I don't remember the whole.
Yeah.
No, but Beef, he got destroyed by the LDBC. He didn't get destroyed by the whole boxing community as a whole. Everybody can't. Come on, fuck out of here, dude.
No,
I remember.
You don't have internet, bro.
I remember people saying,
bro, you gotta get a better internet. You gotta learn how to use fucking Google Chrome and shit. You don't know how to use Google.
Shut
Chrome.
up, dude.
He lives in Drinker. They don't get all the news.
You don't know how
there.
to use Google Chrome. You better stop it. You better up your internet. You better up your internet, man. Call Comcast or something.
Dude, shut up. Shut up. I am on Google Chrome right now. Calm down. And I just sent you
Google it.
Sent you 4 examples
50 stories about it.
I just sent you 4 examples. I just sent you 4 examples of Steve Kim saying really disgusting shit on Twitter too, and you're saying I have no problem with Steve Kim. And these guys are writers. These guys are not. These guys are writers. You can't compare a fighter to a writer. Why are you comparing a fighter to a writer? Fighter is not a writer. Writer has way more responsibility to act like a fucking adult.
I'm not comparing the fighter. I'm comparing all the people. I'm
dude.
comparing all the people on YouTube that are freaking. I'm comparing all the people on YouTube. I'm comparing the people on YouTube to Steve Kim. I'm comparing the new media.
You can't compare them to Steve Kim either.
The new media on YouTube is what I'm comparing Steve Kim to. Because supposedly the new media is legit all of a sudden. I'm not comparing a fighter to Steve Kim. I'm comparing the new media.
They're wrong too. They're not legit all the time. They're wrong too.
So what is your point, Jason? What is your point?
Yeah, but
what is your point? What is your point?
What's up with all this white guilt? What's up with all this white guilt?
Yo, stop interrupting.
What's up with all this white guilt? What's up with this white guilt?
Why are you filibustering? Let me speak, dude. Don't get nervous.
What's up with your white guilt? What's up with your white guilt?
Why do you keep saying that you're scared to be? Why do you keep saying that you're scared to say things? You act like why do you always act like a victim? We can say anything.
Oh, I'm really afraid to say it.
Why are you always?
I come on here tight-lipped. I come on here tight-lipped all the time.
You're like, oh my God.
Aaron Daly, thank you so much. He said Jason.
He
said Jason and Georgie are the best callers. There you go.
Let me finish, Eric. Come on. Let me finish, then Eric can limit.
You can talk. You can talk.
Why do you always? Hello.
Beeb, let him talk. Beeb, let him talk.
Finish, dude.
Let him go.
Hey, Beeb was just saying. Now people feel like they can't say anything. Dude. I feel like I can say whatever the fuck I want and get no backlash. I feel like I have more freedom than I've ever fucking had. I don't know what world you're living in, but I feel like I fall
in line with mainstream media.
You fall in line with
mainstream media. You fall in line with mainstream media. You fall in line with mainstream media. Of course you could.
What do you mean? Anything. I'm talking about my life. I'm talking about my fucking life. I'm talking about the life I'm living. I have no fucking restrictions.
Because you have no friends. If you say something, nobody cares.
Talking about, oh my God, we have no freedom.
But you got a lot of white guilt.
You have all the freedom.
But you got a lot of white guilt, though. But you got a lot of white guilt. Let's admit that. You got a lot of white guilt.
Say it.
Just say it. Say you got a lot of white guilt.
Say it.
He's speechless. He's speechless. What did he drop?
I think he did. You know what? I think I dropped. Hang on. I did. I dropped.
Uh-oh. Go back on.
Ah, man. What are you going to do? All right. Beeb, while I go back to the lines here, let's, I tell you what, let's go to Eddie Cotton, man. Let's talk about Eddie Cotton real quick, man. The referee for the Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis fight passed away this week due to COVID-19. Pretty sad, man. I mean, that's a pretty sad thing. You don't like to hear that. What were your thoughts on Eddie Cotton? I mean, what did you think when you heard this, man? Because
I was sad. He's one of the best writers, one of the best referees that that I've, in the modern era, I thought, because he was a guy, he was a big guy. He was a force in there. He made himself known when he had to make himself known. He could get in there and break up big heavyweights, but he was never overly officious. He was never overly officious. Like you say all the time, I don't even want to know the referees there. And
Right.
you've even gone as far as saying, I don't even want to know the guy's name. And, Eddie Cotton, if his name wasn't announced before the fight, you probably wouldn't know who he was, because he was just, he got out of the way. He never jumped in. He let guys fight out of clinches. He was a class referee, man. He was a class referee.
Yeah, I thought so too. I really did. All right, we should be reconnected here in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll let him get back on. We'll let him.
Yeah, he's on there, so we'll let him back in.
Yeah, we'll let him back on.
Because I'm a nice guy.
I just want to know what's up with all the white guilt.
Stop it. Let him finish his point, Beeb. Maybe he would tell you if you stopped talking over him, huh?
I know.
All right, I think we got it here.
You know what's funny? He asked me a question, and he won't let me answer the question he asked me.
Well,
Is he back?
Yeah, let me see here.
Am I back on?
Yeah,
you're back on.
He's still
You're back
talking.
You're back on.
Do you think he got cut off?
Why do you keep using that hey, Beeb, why do you keep using that Fox News buzzword, white guilt? That's like,
why is that a Fox News?
Media.
That's not a Fox News buzzword. Why are you using CNN talking points now? Why are you using CNN talking points?
Only place I hear that is right-wing racist people say that white guilt.
Oh, white guilt. Here we go with the white guilt again. White guilt.
All right, Jason, it's getting boring, so get to your point.
Explain the white guilt.
What do you mean?
Just let him get to his point. Just let him get to his point. It's kind of getting dull.
Good.
No, but Beeb has been saying, like, I feel like I can't say anything. I can't say anything.
I do.
Like, if you're a white
I do.
person, like, you can say whatever the fuck you want. You can do whatever the fuck you want. We have no restrictions. We're the majority race in this country, so we gotta stop acting like we have restrictions, okay? We're not the minorities, we're the majority. So stop acting like you have restrictions, like you're the oppressed. No, you're not the oppressed.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
Okay? Just be real. Let's be
There
real.
you go.
Let's be real. Let's be
Shed
real.
that white guilt, man. Shed that white guilt.
White people own all the jails. White people own all the private jails. We own all the jails. I have stocks in jail companies through my stock fund. I have
there you go.
In jail. I'll be honest about that. I'm not an idiot. Us white people, we own all the jails. All the jails are bringing money in our pocket. Our fucking neighborhoods are getting rich off our jails and shit. So we have to admit that. You can't be a fucking dishonest person. You just have to admit that. That's it. That's not white guilt. That's just being honest. You have to be honest. That's it, man. Like, I'm not going to go out there and give all my money to black people. I'm not saying you have to give all your money to black people. Come on. We just have to be honest. Let's be honest to ourselves.
But I have a question for you.
Why?
People,
whatever.
Can I ask you a question?
Get away with crimes that black people would never get away with. Okay, we get away with things like black people would never get away with. That's what I know.
That's white guilt. That's white guilt. That's white guilt.
No, I've gotten away with so
much. Okay, but do you think
that's white guilt?
Hold on. Let me jump in here.
That's white guilt.
Let me jump in. So do you? Okay, so what are your thoughts on what Devin Haney said?
I don't think it's that big of a deal at all, because I think
if a white guy said this, but if a white fighter said this, how would you feel? That would be a huge deal. That was a huge deal. That was a huge deal. He got crucified for that.
Crucified.
Show me all the articles. Can you post the articles? Can you post all the articles?
Yeah, we can post it. Yeah, we can do. Yeah, we can go out of the way, and we got time to do that, son. Just go Google it, son.
Kovalev.
Yeah, let's do that. You've got all the time, Eric. You're sitting at home. You've got all the time.
Son, what are you doing?
USA Today. USAtoday.com. USAtoday.com. Sergey Kovalev is a racist. It's a fact.
Yeah, what does it say, babe?
That's what it said. Stupid.
That's what it says. That's a headline.
It's a headline.
Sergey Kovalev lashes out. Sergey Kovalev lashes out at accusation of racism. Sergey Kovalev doubles down on bigotry with racist tweet.
That's one article.
No,
it's not. It's multiple articles, stupid.
I'm reading down the line, you fucking dumb fuck. Bad left hook. Sergey Kovalev is a liar and a racist. Sergey Kovalev apologizes for racist tweet. Sergey Kovalev apologizes. Sergey Kovalev apologizes for racist tweet. I'm reading.
Jason, I want you to admit it. I want you to admit it. You're wrong.
You're a fucking idiot. Boxing scene BoxingScene.com. BoxingScene.com. Team Ward disgusted by Kovalev's racist tweet. Bloody elbow. Kovalev, racism accusations, the big story. There's fucking 10 fucking articles.
Now let's
go to page 2. Boxing needs to get better outside the ring. Sergey Kovalev and trainer John Jackson are accused of equating another human being with being a monkey. Finance at yahoo.com. There's like fucking LarrySports.com. There's 12. There's fucking 15. There's 15 websites.
So
you fucking idiot.
So Jason, just given the fact that you just got crucified here, do you have anything to say?
Show me Steve Kim crying about. Hey.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck about Steve Kim.
You said you can't compare writers to fighters, right?
Kim, yeah, show me.
Show you what?
Raging Babe and Steve Kim. Show me them people crying about it. Those same people that crying about Devin Haney were silent back then. That's my point, dude.
And the same people that are defending Devin Haney were crying about Sergey Kovalev. So it's a fucking double standard. It's a fucking double standard. It's a fucking double standard.
All right.
Are you really that hurt by what Haney said? You're hurt by what Haney said? You're that fucking
hurt about anything.
Dude? Like you're hurt by that?
You're hurt by it.
You're hurt by it.
You're hurt by it. You were hurt. You were hurt by Steve Kim. You were hurt by Steve Kim. You were hurt by Steve Kim tweeting out a tweet about Clarissa Shields. You were crying about Clarissa Shields.
Yeah.
Are you dating her?
What about that? Yeah. What about that? So what about that? What about that? So why were you so upset about that tweet? Why were you so upset about the Steve Kim tweet?
What?
It's a double
with Clarissa Shields.
He's a fucking journalist.
So what?
Why is he a
Why do you care? Why were you crying?
You just said you're allowed to say anything you want, and you don't. There's no ramifications for it. That's what you said.
I'm not offended.
I'm not a journalist. I'm not a journalist, Eric. You know that, right? I don't work for ESPN.
I don't know that you work.
I don't work for Boxing.
I'm not offended by what Devin Haney said. You know what? I just don't like the hypocrisy. I'm the enemy of hypocrisy.
Hey, hold on, one at a time.
I don't like the hypocrisy.
All right, let's bring Jason.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Can I say?
I'm just calling out hypocrisy.
You remember that? Listen, dude. You remember that Puerto Rican fighter that Top Rank had that had like a motorcycle crash? His name is like
Verdejo.
Remember his name, Eric?
Felix Verdejo. Felix
Verdejo. Yeah. Steve Kim says, okay. Steve Kim goes. He sent a tweet out a couple of years ago. He said Verdejo's like motorcycle crash is more exciting than his whole career. You think some fucking NBA reporter could fucking write that?
Yeah, but he would never do that today.
He couldn't do that today, though.
If
he did that today, he'd get fired. He'd get fired from ESPN. They'd get rid of him. He did that today.
They would. Yeah, they absolutely would have got rid of him. He works for ESPN now, so that's a whole different app. That's a whole different platform.
I don't know because people.
You don't know that ESPN is bigger than Boxing Scene?
ESPN's not.
How many homes is Boxing Scene in? Zero, son.
I never go to ESPN.com and read anything. I never go to ESPN.com.
Because you can't read, son.
100 times a month, dude. I don't go to ESPN.com.
Come on, man.
Boxing Scene is where I get all my news from. Boxing.
Yeah.
Nobody goes to ESPN for boxing news.
Lots of people. Everybody goes to ESPN for boxing news, son. What are you talking about?
Barely anybody. Most people go to Boxing Scene.
What did you say?
Robbie, man? Bring Robbie back.
Where's Robbie? He's outside rubbing on your mama's booty.
Robbie
That's where he is.
Bring him back for the.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, that way.
I miss Robbie's voice.
I miss Robbie's voice.
Negative. Bring back Robbie.
I miss Robbie's voice. Yeah. Why don't you call him up so you can date him? You date him tomorrow. We'll call him up. All right, man. I gotta go. He said, "Bring back Robert."
Stop being pussy. Stop being victims,
okay? Now they're comparing what Devin Haney said to what Sergey Kovalev said. Like they should. They were both wrong. They
should, because I mean, honestly, that's they were both. I mean, they're both wrong things to say. Now, obviously, Kovalev. I thought Kovalev's was worse.
Kovalev's was worse, yeah.
No question. Again, the crazy thing is, man, is that it just doesn't seem like. Again, if Billy Joe Saunders said that, people would lose their minds. So I don't want to see people, and I could, again, either way, I could care less, but I don't want to see you guys losing your minds when Billy Joe Saunders now says something or somebody says it, because you cannot have it both ways. Can't do it.
But it's going to happen, and it's going to be a double standard, because every little thing that someone else says, it's going to be racial. Everything is racial.
We're all racist, and that's okay. Unbiased Boxing Talk says 2 wrongs don't make a right. Couldn't agree more, man. There you go, man.
Of course, what Kovalev said was worse, but again, like, he's trying to say that Kovalev didn't get raked over the coals for it.
Right.
And he did. I just reeled off 12 websites that fucking you hear those headlines?
They got completely raked over the coals.
And he should have.
Completely raked.
I'm not saying he
absolutely should have.
And he should have.
He absolutely should have.
And he should have. I'm not. It didn't bother me what Devin Haney said, but I just want to see the fucking people, the same people that are gonna fucking complain about every other thing and call it racism.
Listen,
they can't do it. Then if
you didn't have a problem with what Devin Haney said, then you can't have a problem with what Billy Joe Saunders is going to say next week.
Yeah, you can't have a problem. You can't have a problem with someone.
Haney's comments are a joke. Shut up, Jason.
Well, again,
they weren't bad. And you know what? And I think Ohio Runs Boxing said this. I was reading it because he posted something about it today. And I was reading his comments. And he said he did it for the publicity. 100% he did it for the publicity.
That's fine.
100%.
That's fine.
Of course he did. That's fine. But again, man, listen, and Jason's right. You could say, Jason says, I can say anything I want and I don't have any ramification. That's because you don't have a microscope on you. Nobody cares what he says. His own family doesn't care what he says. But when you're Devin Haney and you're in a public sense, you're 100% right. You could say anything you want to say, but there's going to be consequences for things you say.
There's a lot of things that I can't say that other people can say. And when I mean I can't say without getting crucified. And other people can say the same thing and they won't get crucified.
Right.
I'm a big boy. I can take it. But I'm just going to continue to point out the hypocrisy and the double standard. Because again, when Steve Kim tweets out something, or Mike Montero tweets out something, or fucking Mike Coppinger tweets out something, I just don't want to. I don't want to go on the Twitter timeline and hear, "Oh, this guy's a racist. This guy's a racist. This guy's a racist."
Yeah.
What's up with all the false outrage?
Let's see here. Boxing Chan, thank you so much. He says, "How can we make Jason a permanent host?" Couple G's ought to do it. I think $3,000 to do it for me.
And again,
permanent host till I fire.
And again, I stress, I'm not outraged by what Devin Haney said, but it still was a stupid, ignorant thing to say. Because it's just to sit there and make a statement like that about a guy who's been pound for pound number one for the last 4 years now? 3 years at least. Mm-hmm. A guy that's accomplished a lot more than he has. It just sounds stupid to me. That's all. It's my opinion.
How much would it take? Boxing Chan has got my interest now. How much would it take, Beeb? How much money would it take to get Jason on here as a permanent host? Would it $3,000 do it? Would $3,000 do it?
Listen, you see what I do on here. When I do shows, I let everybody in.
That's it.
I have happy hour.
That's it.
I wanted Jason to sign up for $1.99, and I will make any video he asks me to make. He's always complaining. Why don't you talk about this? What? Sign up, and I will talk about anything.
I'll talk about that. Hey, Beep, talk about that for a second, because we got some really good news this week. Go ahead and let them know.
Well, I'm very happy that we were allowed to have a premium membership sign up for boxing fans. Now people can get premium memberships, and if you look at people in the chat, they have those badges and stuff. Those are people that have signed up. It's only $199 a month, man. It's only $199 a month, and you have the ability to request any show to get made about any topic you want, number one.
Yep.
Number two, you can come on and have a debate with me about any topic you want anytime. And basically, it's almost like Netflix. You can choose what you want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You could choose what you want to watch, or you could choose what content gets made in here, and you can actually be an active participant. So all you got to do is click on the join link. It's $1.99 a month. That's $2. That's $24 a year. It's nothing.
Nothing.
It's nothing.
You can't even eat out for that much money. Can't even eat out for that money. Aaron Daly, thank you so much. Dale from Chi-Town, obviously, thank you so much. Earthquake, thank you so much. He said, here's to keeping Jason away. Great show. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Appreciate the love. How much to block Jason from the show? Well, I think that would be substantially less. Beeb, how much would it be?
Thank you, Boxing Chan. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chan. Thank you very much, man.
Appreciate that.
Sean Newton Boxing wants to know how much to block Jason from the show. I don't know. We got a bit more now, huh?
I'm gonna tell you this. Whenever you get on the phone with Jason one-on-one, he's a different cat. I'm just telling you.
I'm going to tell you this. Now, I will tell you this.
He's a different
because I've talked to Jason. I've talked to Jason off air, offline. I don't know what Beeb is talking about because he is the same guy on air as he is off air. 100%.
Him and I have a different relationship. He's
always
asking me.
Yeah, I don't care. Listen, I don't know what kind of relationship you guys got.
He's always asking about what should I say to girls. You know, I got this.
Is he really?
I got this date tonight. You know,
he's taking advice from you.
How should I kick it? How should I kick it off? What's the open? What opening line should I? What opening line should I use? When I buy her the soda, should I get 2 straws and we both drink from the same soda? Or should I get 2 sodas and we just have our own sodas?
Wow.
You know, where should I take it? Arby's?
Like Dalmatians or whatever, where they're sipping out of the same cup and everything like that.
Yeah. He's like, should I take it to Arby's or Sonic? You know, these are the questions he asks.
Oh, Hamed, come on. Hamed said he stopped listening to the show because of Jason. He's a cancer to the show. Bring back Robbie or boot Jason. Well, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but he's not exactly the host. I mean, he's not.
I got to be honest with you. Jason does have a good amount of fans.
He really does. I don't know what it is, but
we can't disrespect the fact. Jason is like, he always talks shit about Donald Trump, but Jason is like Donald Trump on here.
He's exactly like Donald Trump.
He's just like Donald Trump on here.
Oh, come on, guys.
Said Hamed has the swine flu.
Hamed's a great listener too. Hamed, how about it's like midnight over in the UK and Hamed's listening? How about that?
Manny, just click on the link on the just click on the link. There's a link. See if I can get the link for Manny. I'll put it.
There are a lot of sheep out there that love Jason. Yeah, post a link in the chat, Beeb, and then we'll see. Yeah. All right. So before we go to the fantasy fights here, let's go back to the lines here. Give me 1 second here, and then we're going to go to 773. Beeb, I believe that's Chicago.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
D-Styles is going to.
Yeah, he's in there. I see him in there.
Try to go to
Kevin from Chicago. I think this is Kevin from Chicago.
Yeah, try to go to D-Style too because he's got a good take on this.
I'm not going to D-Style. Is this Kevin from Chicago?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Kevin, how are you, buddy?
How's it going?
Good, man. What's up?
Pretty good. Just want to make a quick point.
Yeah.
With this Haney situation, I like it. I like it when they talk shit because what goes around comes around. It makes the boxing world exciting.
Yeah.
Just like Bernard Hopkins had to eat his words and made a fool of himself. Just like Wilder made a fool of himself, had to eat his words. Devin Haney will taste that same feat. It's going to happen. So I love it. Keep it up. Keep it up, Devin Haney. Keep that shit talking. And when you get in the ring with one of these top level fighters like Klitschko, like Josh Taylor, even though Luke Campbell, it'll come back to bite you in the ass. That's what I love about it.
There you go. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. And he's right, though. I mean, he's right. You talked about, you remember Bernard Hopkins and Joe Calzaghe?
Yeah.
And who was that? The guy that knocked him out of the ring. I can't remember his name. What was his name?
Joe Smith.
Joe Smith. That's what it was. Yeah, Joe Smith. Thank you so much, Kevin, man. We appreciate the call, and don't be a stranger, man. Call back, man. Yeah, man. I tell you what, this is, like I said, man, there's a lot of stuff out there, and he's right. What goes around eventually comes around, It's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous game he's playing, man. Where's D-Style at? He was on there. Now he's not.
Oh, he dropped off?
Yeah, so tell him to call back. D-Style from El Paso. I tell you what, while we're waiting for him to call back, let's go into our fantasy fights here. All right, so the fantasy tournament comes to a close tonight for the first round anyway. Joe Louis versus Wladimir Klitschko and Riddick Bowe versus Ken Norton. Let's do, what do you want to do? Klitschko first? Let's do Klitschko Louis.
Klitschko first. Let's go to Klitschko first.
All right. So let's see here. So this is Wladimir Klitschko and Joe Louis, man. Wladimir Klitschko, let me tell you this, had about 18 straight title defenses. And he had, and he had lost between then, but he had the title, lost it, and then had 18 straight defenses. Joe Louis had 25 straight title defenses until he lost to Titletown's own Ezra Charles. How about that? Klitschko was 6'6" and about 240. He was extremely athletic for being that big. I mean, that being said, he was one of the most disliked champions in history because of his style. B, would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. I hated watching that guy fight. He was so boring to watch. The jab and grab style of Klitschko, it was effective, but it was not crowd pleasing at all. Joe Louis was about 6'2", 215, and he was no stranger to fighting bigger guys. In fact, Primo Carnera was KO'd by Joe Louis in 6 rounds. Carnera was about the size of Klitschko. They were both the same size, just about the same size. Klitschko was a little bit lighter, than Carnera. I think Carnera went about 260, if I'm not mistaken. Klitschko, of course, right around the 240 when he was fighting in shape. That being said, man, Klitschko was much more athletic and skilled than Carnera was. Joe Louis was one of the hardest punchers in heavyweight history. If he connected, he would hurt you. I think Joe Louis would have connected on Klitschko during this fight. But that being said, Klitschko to me was just too skilled to fall into Louis's trap to get in a slugfest with him. I think Louis lands on Klitschko. I think Louis hurts him. I think Louis hurts him a couple of times in this fight. But Klitschko's clinching style would frustrate Louis. The jab of Klitschko would frustrate Louis and would also be able to dictate the fight. Louis definitely has his moments here, but I think we're looking at a safety first fight from Klitschko as usual. I think he ties up Louis. I think he jabs him the entire fight. I think Joe Louis carries the fight because I think if Joe Louis is not fighting, there is no fight. But I think that at the end of the day, I think he's going to be outpointed in a very controversial decision. My pick is Wladimir Klitschko by a very dull split decision victory.
Okay. Well, what we've done so far when we talked about a lot of fighters in this tournament, particularly the modern era fighters, we've always said, well, you know what, bigger, better, stronger, faster. But here's the thing. It's not just about being big. It's about the skill set, because there's been other big fighters, tall guys that have been in the sport of boxing that really haven't been elite guys. Like when you look at guys like David Price, big tall guy, Dominic Brazil, another big tall guy, even Nikolai Valuev, who was the champion. He wasn't a typically great athletic guy.
No.
And who was that guy that Lennox Lewis knocked out? The big tall guy,
Michael Grant.
Michael Grant, another guy. So it's not about the fact that these guys are just bigger. It's the fact that they're big and they're skilled at the same time.
Yeah.
And athletic. So we're not oversimplifying it by just saying, okay, well, this guy's big or whatever. That's why he's going to win. Wladimir Klitschko was a very skilled guy. He had very great timing. He had great timing. The way he would line people up with that jab and just throw that right hand. Like, people oversimplify the fact that, all he does is throw 1-2s, jabs and grabs, and throws 1-2s and tries to land the big right hand. But as time went on, he developed that left hook, especially under Emmanuel Stewart. That left hook that knocked out Eddie Chambers was a killer left hook. So he developed the left hook. He was a decent body puncher. Wasn't a great inside fighter, but he knew how to nullify guys who got close to him. He knew how to grab them, put his weight on him and lean on him and take the starch out of him, sort of like we did with David Hay. Joe Louis had very fast hands, but he wasn't the fastest guy on his feet. And Joe Louis was about 6'1", about 205. Had a good right hand. But again, he'd be reaching up. Whenever you reach up, you'd be fighting a guy 6'6", 5-inch reach advantage. He likes to box from the outside. He wasn't an inside fighter. So he's not even going to try to get close. He's going to try and fight on the perimeter. But how are you going to fight on the perimeter when you got a guy who's got a longer reach than you, who also likes to fight on the perimeter? The guy with the longer reach is going to have more success landing his shots and measuring his shots. So because Joe Louis wasn't quick on his feet, because he wasn't a really great inside fighter, that wasn't his game. He liked to fight from the outside. He was good at throwing feints. He had a good jab, and he had a great right hand. But he just wasn't really an explosive guy like a Sonny Liston, like a Mike Tyson, like a Joe Frazier. You see what I'm saying? At least those guys were small, but they had quick feet. They know how to get inside. They could get dipped down, up and underneath. Joe Louis was a stand-up guy, and because of that, I just see I just see Wladimir Klitschko measuring him with that telephone pole jab and being able to tee off on him with the right hand, because I don't think that Joe Louis would be able to get close to him. And I think he'd be at the end of those big lumbering shots, and eventually he'd get one down. And he didn't have the greatest chin in the world either, to top it off the boot.
You don't think so? I mean, he was knocked down, but there were flash knockdowns in his career. They weren't
he was knocked out cold by Max Schmeling.
Max Schmeling, yeah. Well, Max Schmeling was a pretty good fighter. I mean,
yeah. He didn't have the greatest chin in the world. So, that's another, liability for him. And Klitschko didn't have the greatest chin in the world either. But with all that being said, this is one case where size does really matter, because the guy who had the size also had the skill, and he had the timing, and he was able to set the shots up.
Yeah. I think that's the big thing. Yeah.
Whether you like how it looked, thank you, Manny. Whether you like how it looked or not, whenever he landed that right hand, you could even ask friggin' Anthony Joshua. He got your attention.
Yeah.
Okay. He was seconds away from knocking out Anthony Joshua. So I just think that it's going to be Wladimir Klitschko with a 4th round stoppage.
Wow. 4th round stoppage. Wow. All right. I mean, we both picked Klitschko, no question about it. You know what turned me on this fight is watching the Lewis Carnera fight. And when I was watching the Lewis Primo Carnera fight, what I saw was I saw Joe Louis doing very well. I mean, Carnera again is Carnera is the size of Klitschko. I mean, when you get brass tacks and you get right down to it, he's the size of Klitschko.
What was he, like 6? No, he was like 6'10".
6'6". I think it was 6'6", if I'm not mistaken. And you watch Louis fight him, but Primo Carnera was not as skilled, nowhere near as skilled as Klitschko was. And Klitschko had a great amateur pedigree too. And Louis landed on him, and Louis, knocked him around and stuff, was winning that fight, won that fight, obviously. But as I'm watching that fight, I couldn't help but see Klitschko in there. And the things that Louis did in that fight, he's never been in against a guy that skilled, that big as Klitschko. And Klitschko, I think, would have nullified him. I think would have grabbed him, would have clinched him, and just did a safety first fight and just got away with that win. Klitschko didn't have the, like you said, Beeb, and I never really thought about this either. Klitschko didn't have the best chin either. No. But I think Louis may have hurt him a couple times, or at least got his attention a couple times in that fight.
Yeah.
But I don't see Wladimir unloading on him. You know what I mean? I just don't see that. I don't see Joe Louis going out in the 4th round.
Joe Louis knocked out Primo Carnera in
6.
6, yeah.
Yeah, 6 rounds. But Schmeling knocked him out before he had the title. And then I think their rematch, he had the title. He was the champion then.
Louis beat Braddock And then he fought Schmelling
Right.
rematch. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, that was the biggest fight of Lewis's career because World War II was going on, and everything like that. It was the biggest fight of his career. And him and Schmeling, I didn't realize that him and Schmeling were like really good friends after that. They were always very good friends. So, yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. So, yeah, I think, like I said, man, so Klitschko goes forward. Let's go back to the phones, and then we'll get to our next one, which is Riddick Bowe versus Ken Norton. Let's see here. 732. I believe this is Jersey, maybe? 732. You're live.
Hey, yo.
What's happening?
What's going on?
Who is that?
Not too much. How you doing, babe?
What's going on? Who is this?
It's Luke from Jersey.
Oh,
New Jersey.
How you doing, brother? Nice to hear from you.
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Good.
Same
Hanging in there, man.
Whole thing?
I'm battling the coronavirus, but I think I'm winning, man, because I don't have a temperature yet.
You're battling the
You're
coronavirus.
You're definitely beating it. I just want to shout out Jason real quick. He's the best caller in all the boxing shows.
Oh, don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that, man. We can't get rid of him.
All right. Yeah, I know you guys have been talking a lot of like classic, theoretical heavyweight matchups.
Correct.
But can we talk some modern heavyweight boxing real quick?
Listen, you got the floor. You could talk about whatever you want. Okay, you called in, man. This is your time.
So I
That's
want
right.
to talk about Wilder. I want to talk about Deontay Bomb Squad Wilder. I want to talk about the heavyweight landscape right now. What do you think Wilder's going to do next? Do you think he's going to fight Fury, or what do you think he's going to do? Is he going to take that rematch clause, or he's going to take a pause on his career?
He's taking it.
Yeah, they said he was going to take it. So, yeah.
You think he's definitely going to take it?
That's what they said. And what did they, September is what they want to shoot for?
So after he loses to Fury, what is he going to do after that, after he loses to Fury?
I think he'll have one more big money fight, and that'll be it. He'll probably fight Ruiz or somebody like that. He'll stay on the PBC side of things.
We'll never get to see the Bomb Squad Joshua fight?
No, that fight's out. That fight's done.
That's the fight everybody wants to see, though. That's the fight we need to see. Even if Wilder loses to Fury, we still got to see that fight.
I agree with you. I just don't think it's going to happen, man. I really don't. I don't see that. There's how much stuff has got to go through with that fight. So he's got to beat Fury. If he beats Fury, I would imagine there's going to be another
if he
rematch.
loses to Fury, I'm still good with it.
Well, if he does lose to Fury, that fight's not happening, because after that fight, Fury will go straight to Joshua, and that's the fight that's going to be made. Fury will
fight Joshua, sure.
Yeah.
But then Wilder will fight some touch-up, and then after Wilder fights that touch-up, and he can fight whoever fights the winner of, if Joshua wins, he could fight Joshua.
It's possible, but then you got Usyk in the mix. And you got Usyk in the mix, and the fact that Deontay Wilder got starched twice, that ain't going to bode well, man. And Usyk is one of Eddie Hearn's fighters.
At least in UK and whatnot, everybody wants to see this Bomb Squad Joshua fight.
I'd like to see it. I don't hate that fight. I like the fight a lot. A lot of people wanted to see it. It would be a shame if we didn't get to see it.
Who do you like Usyk again?
I don't know, man. I want to see Usyk.
You had to dream like an Usyk matchup.
Who would I Usyk? Would Usyk beat Joshua? I think he probably would.
Nobody.
I don't think so.
You don't think Usyk would beat Joshua?
I'm not sold on Usyk.
Wow. Really?
Not at heavyweight. I'm not
as
sold
a heavyweight.
I don't like him at heavyweight.
Man, I don't know, man.
He's kind of boring. He's got weak hands.
He's a good fighter, though. It's a good fighter.
I'm not gonna disrespect him and say he's a bad fighter, but I don't think he beats him. I don't think he beats Joshua.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I think he's a better
like
boxer than
Klitschko.
Joshua. For sure.
Usyk.
I could be wrong though.
Yeah, Usyk is a better boxer, but I would say Usyk has less power than even Joshua. Joshua's been getting some good knockouts. Usyk really has.
Usyk was the undisputed cruiserweight
what's
champion.
Usyk's best knockout?
Last guy to do that, wasn't it Evander Holyfield?
Yeah, cruiserweight. They're talking about little kids, man. Cruiserweight, we're talking about little babies. Talking about little 10-pound babies at cruiserweight.
But wasn't the last guy to unify the cruiserweight division? Wasn't that Evander Holyfield?
Yeah, he's a little baby, man. We talking about the big guys.
He became a big guy. That's my point.
Plus, Usyk had a big bicep tendon injury too, man. Those are.
So did Wilder. Wilder just had surgery on it.
I know, but those are hard to come back from.
Yeah.
What was that on his left bicep? On a Wilder?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
For what? He doesn't throw it.
No, but check this out. Back in the Chris Areola fight, he tore his distal bicep tendon. You know what the distal is? It's this part. It's this part right here in the front of it.
Okay.
It's right here. That's real hard to tear. I don't know how the freak he tore that, but this is what I said before.
Right.
Because his form is so bad sometimes.
Yeah.
That's how come he gets injured, man. Go ahead, Brad. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
All right, so we know Fury is your pick, but who else? Do we have Joshua as the next guy up against Fury, and then it's Usyk? Is that to our top ranking in the heavyweight division right now?
Joshua may be number two. He
impressed me with that Ruiz
Joshua
fight
right now. I feel like he's got the hunger.
Yeah, he impressed me in that second Ruiz fight.
You know, they all have kind of issues, but I feel like Joshua's got the strongest hunger. You know, Fury has some hunger, but you know he has always that question behind him. But Joshua's always been kind of hungry.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Joshua seems like he's back. He's back. You know, in a good state of mind now. He's like real focused. So we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, I really like in his last fight against Ruiz. That's the best I've ever seen him. He was really pounding out that jab. I think if he pounds out that jab like that, he's tough to fight against no matter who he fights against, including Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked good.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to give up on Joshua yet, man.
He looked really good. He was light on his feet. He was fast on his feet. He had quick feet, quick hands. You know, the only thing was he wasn't really sitting down on his punches. That was the only thing.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. The heavyweight division is definitely a real hot division right now, and I can't wait for the boxing to come back, man. Because those are the fights we want to see. We got to see Wilder Fury.
Who's he going to come back with? Who do you think is going to be the first heavyweight fight to come back?
Joshua versus Pulev.
Yeah,
that should be the first one.
Is that still on? When's that on for?
Everything's up in the air right now. Everybody's canceling. Everybody's I don't know. And you know what's going to be crazy is watching a fight in the UK with an empty arena.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's going to be nuts.
Joshua said he doesn't care. Like he just wants to fight.
It's funny in the UK, but in the US, it kind of makes sense. In the US, most of us make our money from TV.
Joshua's itching to come back, though. He's really itching to come back.
Somebody was talking about this. And I don't know.
I'm itching to watch some boxing, to be honest.
Somebody was talking about this the other day, and they were saying, like, with the Joshua fight, though, because most people get their revenue from the pay-per-views and everything like that. But like, say with a fight like Joshua or Wilder or something like that, that gate's like $12 million. That's not chump change. That's a big gate.
That's true for the big fight.
Yeah.
For Joshua fights, the big gate.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking 10 to 12 million on those gates when heavyweights, when you got a big fight. That's not something, I mean, you got to make that money up or you're going to have to take a cut. And a lot of these guys don't want to take that cut during this time. So I don't know, man. That's a big
What
one.
are they going to do? You'd rather sit out or you'd rather take a pay cut?
UK. But you can't fight. I mean, so what you fight in the UK? I mean, they're still going to have crowd control and everything like that. You're not going to get that you're not going to get that in the UK.
Well, Ralph
exactly. But so I'm saying, do you take a pay cut or do you take the fight?
I don't know.
Ralph just said UK rules the heavyweight, so that's why I gave him the little.
Oh, the UK rules the heavyweights.
Yeah, I gave him the Union.
You got
Jack.
it, man. That's right. You want the heavyweight title? It's over there.
Tyson Fury gave me the shirt.
Tyson Fury gave you the shirt. All right, my man. We're gonna
All
get
right,
going
great show,
here,
guys.
man. Thank you so much for calling, man.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
calling. Nice to hear from you, man. Stay safe, all right? You need any masks or anything, let me know. I'll ship them to you.
Beeb Industries got a ton. We got a ton over there.
Donald Trump, he enacted the Defense Production Act on Beeb Industries, so we got to make masks now.
You guys are rolling. You guys are rolling.
Lois, you got the shipment coming. All right. Thank you, girl.
Did you get an air pump for Lois to blow her up?
Enough, please. Trump likes Lois.
I bet he does. I heard he's her type. 516 New York. You're live.
Rican.
You don't even have to say who it is. I mean, you don't even.
I already talked to you about them.
Come on, you know who it
Don't
is.
fall asleep at the wheel, Rican. Come on. What's up, brother? How you doing,
No,
man?
I say he don't even have to say 516. He has to say.
I said Rican,
No, I'm saying
man.
he doesn't have to say 516. You already know.
All right, we already know.
What's up, brothers? How you guys doing?
What's going on? What's going on?
That was
man?
2 minutes of my life I'll never get back.
Are you good?
What?
Yo,
Are you
Eric.
good? Are you good, brother?
Yo, Eric, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
I'm good.
All right.
I'm here chilling, relaxing, up to no good. So some people started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight. It wasn't even fair. Then my auntie sent me to some.
Sent you to Bel Air, huh?
No. All right, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
All right, Jax, what's going on, man? Kick some real shit now. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Okay, get a freestyle. What's going on?
No.
Are you good? Are you good? What's up?
What? Me and Beeb have been talking over the weekend, along with Brian Pryor. By the way, yo, Brian Pryor, thank you for paying for my subscription for a year. It's $2.99 for a month. What is it? $2.99 for a month?
$1.99. Stop jacking the price
And
up.
then,
man.
Yeah. Inflation, buddy.
It's only $1.99.
Well, $1.99. I would have paid $8 a month.
Yeah, but we don't want to gank. We
We
don't
don't
want
want
to
to
gank.
catch people. Hey, people are out of work. Come on, man.
Out
What
of
are you
work. We don't want to
doing?
gank. We don't want to gank people.
Yeah, what's the matter with you?
But Brian Pryor he paid my whole year subscription, so I don't mind when he paid me like $200, and then he's gonna owe me another $200 when Triple G pays
Triple G
Canelo on the third fight.
Triple G ain't winning that fight, bro. Come on.
He's winning. But
So what you got? What you got?
Haney saying that no white boxer could beat him. Now imagine Caleb Plant says that about black boxers. It will be considered the most racist thing ever. Like this is a racist statement.
You don't like it, huh, Rick? You don't like it?
I don't like it.
Okay. I'm with you.
It's up there with Bernard Hopkins stomping on the Puerto Rican flag. Yeah.
Okay. What else you got?
Because imagine Caleb Plant goes on. Caleb Plant comes out and says, "No black fighter could beat me. I'll beat a black fighter 10 out of 10 times." Just imagine that being said. Eric, you don't agree?
I agree.
I agree, man.
We talked about it earlier. Yeah, we all agreed on this point.
I'm sorry.
You were listening earlier, of course, right?
I think he was sleeping.
I actually had to tune in late. I'm sorry. Yeah. I apologize. I will go back and listen to it. But that's my standpoint on it.
All right.
Okay, man.
There you go.
All right.
Jesse Rican, everybody. There
Thanks
you
for
go.
calling it, brother.
All right, man. What's wrong with you, man?
That's horrible.
Manny Gatilla's killing this guy in the chat, boy. Manny Gatilla was killing him.
See, people from Massachusetts, we don't fuck around, man. That's how we are, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Like, if you're like thin skinned or faint of heart, man, this chat is not the place for you, man. This is this is not the place for you, my man.
It's like me, Manny, Georgie. We're all from friggin' Massachusetts, man. Gets real in the field out here in Massachusetts, baby.
Real in the field.
We're ready, Daddy.
Are you guys wearing masks? Are you guys wearing masks when you go out now?
It's not mandatory to wear them outside, but it's mandatory to wear them if you go into a store.
Wow. Where'd you get a mask at? Are you wearing like one of those wrestling masks?
I'm using my friggin' Lucho Libre mask right now.
Say one of them like masks, like Rey Mysterio mask.
My friend,
whatever.
I ordered one on Amazon. I ain't gonna be able to get it. It's not coming until next week.
Wow. Can you just use like a bandana or something like that?
Use a bandana, yeah. But my friend's actually gonna give me a nice cloth mask. He got a couple of them.
Yeah, we got some of those. We got a store up here. I got a couple of those, but they're just like cloth. They're not like nothing. I mean, it's not like commercial grade or anything like that. It's just like piece, you know.
Yeah. You have to wear. You don't have to wear them there, do you?
No. But they recommend you do. But it's not mandatory. But they recommend it.
Ralph, is it mandatory to wear the mask in the UK, Ralph?
Yeah. Ralph says he uses a ski mask.
That's what I got. I got a ski mask, but I pull the back of it down and I just use the front.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because you can't. It's still like there's still like air holes for your nose and mouth, so it doesn't.
But you know what I hate? I hate wearing the mask because I can't fucking breathe in it, bro. I was in friggin' Stop and Shop today shopping, and people kept pulling their masks down because they couldn't breathe.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of mask? What are you guys using? Like gas mask or something? I mean,
no.
like,
some of them were using the paper masks, right? But they were pulling them down.
For you guys can't breathe in them?
Because you're sweating and it's uncomfortable, bro. I'm just telling you. Like,
stop it. Stop.
Ralph, isn't the
mask
isn't the mask uncomfortable wearing it for a long period of time, Ralph? Be honest, Ralph. Ralph will tell the truth. He always tells the truth. He's wearing his mask.
Are you wearing like the surgical mask sometimes? The N95 mask, I don't know. Because I've never worn one of those.
They don't.
Just like the regular cloth masks? No.
They're not comfortable, bro.
Well, they're not great, but I mean, it's not like you can't breathe in them, though. I never had that problem where you can't breathe in them.
Ralph just said
Ralph said it's hard to breathe. Wow.
Hard to breathe, bro. Me and Ralph are world-class athletes, and if we can't,
guys got to start doing some road work or something, man. If you hard to breathe over there, you guys got asthma or something?
Do you know Ralph can rides like 10 miles a day on his bike, man? He's a world-class athlete.
Man, boy. Ralph Dawkins, baby. He's hitting the Peloton hard.
He's got cardio equipment at the house. He's a personal trainer, Ralph.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't mess around with Ralph. He's a fitness guy.
Give him some money. I'm gonna sign up. Give me some personal training from the UK.
He tells you we can't breathe in it, and I tell you can't breathe it. No, it's legit.
All right. I'm just saying. All right, let's go to our final fantasy fight of the first round. Beeb, Ken Norton versus Riddick Bowe. Let's take it.
Wow. Now, Ken Norton had that cross-arm style. You know, he'd like to come forward. He was kind of like a poor man's Joe Frazier, but he was a little bigger. I don't think he was as explosive, but the big thing with Ken Norton was he was a very aggressive guy, and he was very, very active in there, threw a lot of punches. He tried to blanket you and overwhelm you with activity. Problem was, you know, against Ali, I thought he won all three fights because he was able to get inside. But the thing is, with Riddick Bowe has reach and height, but Riddick Bowe, for a tall guy, is a very, very good inside fighter. He had a really
best ever. I think he was one of the best ever.
Really good short left hook and a short uppercut on the inside. So the thing is Riddick Bowe could be successful on the outside and the inside in this fight. So he's got more ways to win. Ken Norton's got to get close. Decent puncher, but I think Riddick Bowe was a harder puncher. Speed, maybe edge it to Norton by a hair, but Riddick Bowe was just such an accurate puncher. He was a pinpoint accurate puncher. And because he was so versatile offensively, you had to be on your toes, regardless of where the fight was going to be fought, because this guy could touch you from the outside. He could hit you from the inside. He was a great body puncher. And even against Evander Holyfield, he went to war with Evander Holyfield, and he fought Evander Holyfield's fight at points in the fight, and he was still able to get the better of him and outwork him on the inside on a lot of exchanges. So Ken Norton would bring the fight to Riddick Bowe, and Riddick Bowe would welcome him to bring the fight to him. And I think Riddick Bowe would catch him coming in. And then I think Riddick Bowe would let him come in sometime, and then he would go to the body on him. And I think he'd wear him down with body shots on the inside. And then I think he'd push him off and then stop battering him from the outside. I think this would be kind of like a methodical beatdown, honestly. And I think Riddick Bowe would wear him down, and I think he'd probably stop Ken Norton in about 7 rounds.
Wow.
How's that one?
I like it. Man, Ken Norton defeated Muhammad Ali to become the heavyweight champion. That's a big, and like you said, I mean, he may have won all 3 of those fights, Norton was a really good fighter in his day, man. He reminded me, you mentioned that crab defense he had, and you know what he reminded me of? A latter-day George Foreman.
Latter-day George Foreman, yeah.
Absolutely, man. And that's exactly who he reminded me of with that crab defense. It's a weird kind of defense, where he just crosses his hands over his body. Riddick Bowe, of course, defeated Evander Holyfield to become champion of the world. Bowe, how about this fun fact here? Bowe comes from the same neighborhood as Mike Tyson.
Brownsville.
How rare is that to have 2 champions from the same neighborhood?
Brownsville represent.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Bowe was a unique fighter, man, to me, because he was a big man. He could fight inside or outside. And, man, he could really fight inside. He was one of the best inside fighters I've seen for a heavyweight. He's one of the best inside guys.
Reminds me of Tyson Fury a little bit.
Yeah. Or Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson obviously was a great inside fighter. So you got like Riddick Bowe and Mike Tyson. They both fought like I said, they were both really good inside fighters, man. Ken Norton, to me, I think that he didn't have much of a jab. I really don't think his jab was that great, and I think that would have definitely cost him in this fight. It would have definitely caused him problems. He'd have no way to keep Riddick Bowe off him. He would have no way to, he would have to fight basically Riddick Bowe is going to come forward in this fight. And I know Ken Norton was aggressive. Riddick Bowe will come forward in this fight. And Norton had a lot of power, and he had a lot of volume, but Bowe had a very good defense and would counter him at will. He was a great counter puncher, and that's something that doesn't get talked about a lot, is that Bowe is one of the best counter punchers out there. I think Bowe would walk him down all night. To me, Norton would have to try to land a power shot. Every time he would try, he would open himself up, and I think that constant pressure from Bowe would just wear on him. And Norton ultimately would end up against the ropes sometime in that fight, and that's where Bowe would do his best work, go into the body, go into the head. I don't see Norton, honestly, offering up much resistance to a fighter like Riddick Bowe. I just don't. I think Bowe wins this fight easily. My pick is Riddick Bowe by 5th round TKO.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I don't see anything that he would offer up to him. I really don't.
No.
So, wow, Rafael. She said Shannon Briggs from Brownsville too.
Correct.
Wow. I didn't realize that, but I think he's right.
Yeah, he's right.
That's right.
He's 100% right.
3 heavyweight champions from Brownsville.
No joke.
That's insane.
No joke.
That is insane, man.
No joke.
Wow. All right, so let's take a look. In the second round, I think we're going to reshuffle these so we don't have any fights that we've already seen. In the second round, Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, Joe Frazier, Mike Tyson, George Foreman, Lennox Lewis, Wladimir Klitschko, and Riddick Bowe.
Oh, those are that's great, Eric.
Yeah,
that's fucking good, man.
That's really good stuff. I mean,
that's really good.
How about the people? I mean,
it's a great tournament, bro. This is an awesome tournament.
Absolutely. And how about the people? And what I liked about it is that all of them have held the heavyweight championship. But how about the people that have lost in the first round? Tyson Fury, Rocky Marciano, Anthony Joshua, Sonny Liston.
Fury got robbed in that one.
Fury got robbed. Disputed decision. It was a disputed decision,
You can't believe Ralph went against a UK fighter too, man.
Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder out, Larry Holmes out, Joe Louis out, and Ken Norton out. How about that?
Wow.
I mean, these have been some great fights so far. Second round is going to get tougher. Second round is going to be a lot tougher. Some of these fights, like, we looked at them and, they were, you look at them and you're like, yeah, I think this is the way the fight would go, but in that second round, I mean, they're all great fighters. I mean, you're getting down to the cream of the crop here.
This tournament's really good.
It's crazy, right?
This is a great idea. I like how we put this together. We had the great fighters in this.
Yeah, and from the modern era fighters and the yesteryear fighters. So, yeah, man, pretty good. Good stuff so far.
Awesome.
All right, and so we'll reseed them, and we'll let you know how we reseed them and what the fights will be. So next week, we'll have 2 more fights for you, and we'll also have the latest boxing news and all that other good stuff. I think that's it. I think that's all I got today, right? Man. That's it. Done? I think we're out, son.
It's a wrap, huh?
There it is. That'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at JHabib1 and find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. I'm at Ringside 73, and we will see you next week.
Good night, everybody.